Chosen one, listen carefully. What you're about to hear is not random. It's a divine appointment wrapped in mystery. If this video has found you today, it's because heaven has arranged it. Something powerful is moving behind the scenes, and your name has been spoken in places you cannot see. A government official, yes, someone of high authority, is being spiritually led to find you. This isn't about politics or power, it's about purpose. You've been hidden for a reason, refined in silence, and now your calling is catching attention in the physical world. The same system that once overlooked you is now being stirred to seek you out. Your preparation wasn't wasted. Every delay was divine timing. The whispers you've been hearing in your spirit, something is coming, were true, because the time has arrived. God is aligning people in positions of influence to help fulfill what He promised you long ago. So when the door opens, don't shrink back. Step into it boldly, because this isn't coincidence, it's confirmation. Before this message unfolds, do 3 things to connect with this divine signal. First, like this video. Second, type in the comments, "I'm ready for what God is bringing." And third, subscribe to the channel, because this message didn't find you by chance. It's your time, and heaven is sending the call directly to you. The hidden season was not a waste. For a long time, you probably wondered why your life felt like a waiting room that never opened its doors. You gave your best, worked hard, prayed sincerely, and yet nothing seemed to move. People around you seemed to rise quickly, getting recognition, opportunities, and attention, while you kept giving your all and still felt unseen. It was frustrating, wasn't it? You thought maybe you were doing something wrong. Maybe God had forgotten you. But He hadn't. In fact, He was doing something deeper. He was hiding you for a reason. The world may not have seen you, but heaven had its eyes on you the entire time. There's a difference between being forgotten and being hidden, and you, chosen one, were hidden by design. When God hides you, it's never punishment, it's preparation. Just like a seed buried in the ground, your growth was happening when no one could see it. The soil was dark, the space was silent, and it felt lonely. But underneath that surface, you were developing roots, character, wisdom, resilience, and spiritual strength. God knew that if you were revealed too early, the world could destroy what He was still building inside you. He was protecting you from fake friends, premature fame, and wrong doors. That's why some relationships ended, why some opportunities never worked out, and why certain people didn't see your value, because God was keeping you out of sight until the right moment arrived. Now that hidden season is ending. The same people who once ignored you will soon wonder how you suddenly came into the light. The same system that said no to you before will now be instructed by divine order to say yes. Because what was closed in your past wasn't rejection, it was redirection. The pain you felt was never wasted. It became the soil for your promotion. And just like Joseph, who was forgotten in prison but later summoned by the Pharaoh, you too are about to be called out of your hidden place. The official's invitation in this prophecy isn't just a coincidence. It's the physical proof that heaven is moving things in your favor. Every tear, every night you felt overlooked, every prayer that went unanswered was part of your spiritual training. God was shaping your humility so that when honor comes, pride doesn't destroy you. He was teaching you patience so that when power arrives, you can handle it with grace. You see, when you're chosen, your timeline is not like everyone else's. Others might reach the spotlight quickly, but their light fades just as fast. Your light, however, has been built to last, because it was lit by God Himself. So don't regret your hidden years. They made you ready for this moment. They built your foundation for what's about to happen next. You're not invisible anymore. Heaven has spoken your name. The government official in this story represents the world, recognizing the light within you. This is your divine confirmation that your hidden season was never a waste. It was the quiet workshop where God designed your breakthrough. And now, that breakthrough has begun. Your name has been spoken in high places. You may not realize it, but somewhere right now, your name is being mentioned in places you've never been, behind closed doors, in quiet rooms, or in the mind of someone with influence. Your name is rising to the surface, and they don't even fully know why. That's what divine favor does. It doesn't need your effort or explanation. It simply moves hearts and opens doors. You've probably spent years feeling like no one noticed your hard work, your faith, your consistency, but God has been watching all along, and now He's positioning the right people to notice you too. You don't need fame. You don't need to campaign for attention. All you need is favor, and favor is what's beginning to work on your behalf. This is not about luck or coincidence. It's about divine alignment. When God decides it's your time, He starts speaking your name into the ears of those who can help you move to the next level. Imagine someone scrolling through hundreds of names and suddenly pausing at yours, feeling a strange pull they can't explain. That's not random. That's God's whisper. Just like when Samuel was led to David, a young shepherd who had no platform but had purpose, the Spirit is now leading people in authority to recognize you. You might feel unqualified, but remember, David wasn't looking for the throne. The throne was looking for David. The same principle applies to you. You see, when you're chosen, you don't chase opportunities, they find you. You don't need to be in every meeting or know every person. God has a way of connecting the right people at the right time. Your name is being discussed in conversations you never knew existed, and soon those discussions will turn into divine invitations. Maybe it's a job, a collaboration, a government official reaching out, or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But whatever it is, it's not man-made. It's heaven-sent. This is the moment where purpose overtakes position. You may not hold a title or wear a crown, but your spirit carries authority. The reason people will be drawn to you now isn't because of what you have, but because of what you carry. There's something divine about your energy, your wisdom, your resilience. It speaks louder than status. People in power are being drawn to that light. They might not understand it, but they'll feel it. And when they reach out, you'll know it's not coincidence, it's confirmation. So don't worry if no one clapped for you before. The silence was never a sign of failure. It was preparation for divine recognition. The stage is being set, and your name is being written into places where only grace could have carried it. You were never overlooked. You were simply being preserved until the right ears could hear your name. The same God who spoke David's name into Samuel's heart is now speaking yours into the halls of influence. You don't need to prove yourself, because heaven has already done the introduction. Your name has been spoken in high places, and what's meant for you is already on its way. Divine curiosity has been awakened. There's a certain kind of attention that can't be explained by logic. It's not about popularity, wealth, or appearance. It's something deeper, spiritual, almost magnetic. That's what happens when you're chosen. People start to notice you. Even if you're not trying to stand out, they feel drawn to your energy, your peace, your words, your presence, and they can't quite figure out why. They might not even understand what it is about you that captures them, but something in their spirit knows you carry something different. That's what's happening right now. A government official, someone in a high place, is feeling that same pull toward you. It's not about status or fame. It's about divine curiosity. Their spirit has been stirred, and they're being guided toward you for a reason much bigger than either of you can see. Divine curiosity is what happens when heaven whispers your name into someone's heart. They might think it's just an idea or a random thought, but it's actually destiny calling. They might say, "I don't know why, but I need to meet this person." That's not coincidence. That's God's plan unfolding quietly. You see, when you've been walking in obedience, doing the right thing, even when no one was watching, heaven takes note. And when the right time comes, your light begins to shine so brightly that even people in power can't ignore it. They feel drawn to your energy because your spirit carries something they're missing: truth, peace, and divine clarity. This official isn't being led by human interest, but by spiritual prompting. It's not a professional invitation. It's a prophetic one. They might believe they're just doing their job, setting up a meeting, but deep down, something is awakening within them. Their curiosity is not about you as a person. It's about the God within you. You carry answers, wisdom, or presence that their soul is searching for. They see something in you that reminds them of something they once lost: hope, direction, or faith. And because they can't explain it logically, their heart leads them toward you. The reason this curiosity is powerful is that it opens divine doors. You don't have to chase recognition. Your purpose will attract it. Just like Moses drew the attention of Pharaoh or Daniel found favor with kings, your spiritual energy draws the right eyes at the right time. These connections are heaven orchestrated. They're designed to fulfill a bigger plan. So when someone of influence reaches out, don't be surprised. It's not random. It's the fulfillment of what's already been written about your life. God uses divine curiosity as a bridge between His chosen ones and the people He wants to impact. Through you, that official may find a new direction, a renewed sense of purpose, or even a glimpse of faith they'd lost long ago. So don't underestimate the pull they feel toward you. It's sacred. This moment is not about status meeting status. It's about spirit meeting purpose. You've been chosen not to impress, but to influence, not to be seen, but to serve. And that's why this government official feels an unexplainable need to know you. Heaven has awakened their curiosity because your destiny and theirs are about to intersect for something divine. The meeting is a test of readiness. Sometimes the greatest opportunities don't come in grand stages or loud announcements. They come quietly, disguised as moments of testing. When you're chosen, your life moves differently. God doesn't just open doors for you. He prepares you to walk through them with strength, humility, and wisdom. That's what this private meeting represents. It may look like just another conversation or invitation from someone important, maybe even a government official, but in truth, it's a divine test. This is not about fame or recognition. It's about readiness. God is checking your heart, your maturity, and your ability to carry responsibility without letting pride take over. You see, for a long time, you've been asking for promotion, for your voice to be heard, for your purpose to be seen. And now, heaven is responding, but not the way you expected. Instead of handing you everything at once, God gives you a small moment that reveals how prepared you truly are. Because what looks like a simple meeting is actually a mirror showing what's inside you. Will you enter the room with ego, or will you walk in with grace? Will you speak just to be heard, or will you listen to understand? The way you carry yourself now determines the size of the blessings that follow. God often tests his chosen ones privately before revealing them publicly. Think about Joseph. He had to interpret Pharaoh's dream before becoming second in command. Daniel had to stand before kings and stay faithful before he gained influence. Likewise, this meeting is your moment to prove not to others, but to heaven, that you're ready to represent light in dark places. You're not just stepping into a conversation, you're stepping into a spiritual evaluation. The test isn't about knowledge or appearance, it's about character. Can you stay calm under pressure? Can you stay humble when praised? Can you carry peace into a room full of power? Those are the questions heaven is asking now. It's easy to pray for visibility, but visibility without spiritual maturity can destroy you. That's why God hides you first, to make sure that when the spotlight hits, your soul won't shatter. This meeting is proof that your hidden season was not wasted. It prepared you for this very moment. The people in that room may have titles, but you carry something greater, divine favor and spiritual authority. So when you speak, let wisdom guide your words. When you listen, let discernment shape your understanding. When you're acknowledged, let gratitude speak louder than pride. Remember, divine promotion never begins on a public stage. It begins in private rooms like this one. The outcome of this meeting won't depend on how well you perform, but on how faithfully you represent who you are becoming. God is not testing your skill, he's testing your spirit. And if you pass this test with humility, patience, and grace, you won't just leave the room with recognition, you'll leave with elevation. Because when heaven sees you're ready, no human authority can stop what's coming next. Your spirit carries what they need. You might think that when a person in power reaches out to you, it's because they're in control. But what if it's the other way around? What if heaven is using you as the real key to something far greater? That's what's happening here. This government official may believe they're calling you to offer help, opportunity, or recognition. But in truth, something deeper is taking place. They're being spiritually drawn, not to your position, but to your presence. Because what you carry inside, your light, your peace, your truth, is exactly what their environment is missing. You are not just being invited to a meeting. You are being sent as a messenger, carrying something divine into a space that needs healing. When you walk into that room, remember, you're not walking in as someone lesser. You're walking in as someone chosen. The authority you carry doesn't come from status or title. It comes from your connection to God. There's something about your spirit that brings calm to chaos. Where others bring stress, you bring clarity. Where systems are filled with pressure, your presence brings peace. You've been through storms, heartbreaks, and seasons of silence, and because of that, your energy holds something pure and powerful. Understanding. That's what makes people feel safe around you, even those who have never met you before. This official may not understand why they feel drawn to you, but spiritually, they're being led toward the very wisdom and strength that heaven has placed within you. You have insights, values, and calmness that they need to experience. In a world full of confusion, your presence becomes a compass. You don't even have to speak too much. Your calm confidence will do the work. The peace you carry will shift the atmosphere of that room. When you talk, don't try to impress. Just express what's real, what's true, and what comes from your heart. Because it's not your words that carry power, it's your spirit behind them. God has been preparing you for this moment all along. Every trial you went through taught you empathy. Every closed door taught you faith. Every disappointment built a quiet strength inside you that now shines wherever you go. And now you've become the answer to someone else's unspoken prayer. That official might be struggling with doubt, fear, or direction, and they don't even realize that you're the vessel heaven has chosen to deliver clarity. This is why the meeting isn't about opportunity. It's about divine exchange. They think they're helping you, but in reality, you're bringing light into their darkness. So don't walk into that meeting thinking small. You are the carrier of peace, truth, and divine insight. Your energy can shift hearts and inspire hope where it's been lost. You are not entering their world to blend in. You're entering to illuminate. This is more than a meeting. It's a divine assignment. Heaven has sent you not to receive something, but to release something. And when you leave that room, they won't just remember your face, they'll remember how your spirit made them feel. A shift in power is taking place. There comes a time when everything changes, not just in the physical world, but deep in the spiritual one. Right now, that shift has already begun. The world may look the same on the outside, but behind the scenes, power is being rearranged and influence is being transferred. What used to belong to the proud is now being handed to the humble. What was controlled by greed is now being guided by grace, and you, chosen one, are part of this divine transition. That meeting you've been invited to isn't just another discussion. It's a sign of a larger movement, a spiritual shift, where heaven is putting new voices in old rooms. The places that once ignored you are now being opened, not by man, but by divine instruction. In the spiritual world, nothing big ever happens without a conversation first. Think of how God spoke creation into existence. Everything began with words. That's exactly what's happening now. This meeting is not just an earthly event. It's a prophetic conversation that marks a turning point. When a government official or someone in authority calls upon you, it's not just an opportunity. It's a signal that spiritual authority is being acknowledged in the physical realm. Heaven is realigning systems so that those who walk in truth, compassion, and purpose are finally given the influence they were born to carry. For too long, the world has been led by those who chase power for themselves. But now, heaven is choosing leaders who serve others. This shift is not loud, it's subtle, silent, and spiritual. You might see people losing positions they once held tightly, and others suddenly rising with unexpected favor. That's not chaos, it's correction. God is rebalancing the scales, restoring integrity where it was lost, and handing influence to those who can use it with purity. You are one of them. The reason doors that were once locked are opening now is because you've proven faithful in the dark. You didn't compromise, you didn't give up, and now heaven is honoring that faithfulness by giving you access that can't be denied. This is not about politics, it's about prophecy. God is fulfilling promises that were made long before you even understood your purpose. The chosen ones are rising, not to rule by power, but to lead by spirit. You are part of a new kind of leadership that operates not by domination, but by divine guidance. When you step into that room, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing a movement of light that's overtaking darkness. Your presence there is proof that the spiritual shift is real. The energy of the world is changing. Systems are bending toward truth. Structures are aligning with divine order, and influence is flowing to those whose hearts are pure. You don't have to fight for it. It's already been assigned to you. The conversation, the meeting, the invitation, it's all part of the prophecy unfolding right now. So walk with confidence. Heaven has chosen this exact moment to reveal what it's been preparing all along. A new era where the chosen rise and power finally rests in the hands of those who carry purpose. Heaven is confirming your authority. For a long time, you've been speaking words of faith, believing, praying, and standing firm, even when it felt like no one was listening. You've poured your heart into things that didn't seem to move. You've shared wisdom that people overlooked. You've tried to bring light where others chose darkness, and many times it seemed like your voice carried no weight. But heaven was listening all along. Every prayer, every declaration, every act of obedience, it all built spiritual authority inside you. And now, that unseen authority is beginning to show itself in the physical world. The fact that a government official is asking for your presence isn't just a coincidence. It's heaven's way of confirming that your voice carries power. You're being recognized not because you demanded attention, but because your faithfulness has made you stand out where it truly matters. This moment isn't about being seen by the world. It's about being confirmed by heaven. God has been shaping your words, testing your patience, and training your spirit for this very moment. When you spoke in private, heaven listened. Now, when you speak in public, the world will listen. That's how divine authority works. It doesn't come from titles, wealth, or influence. It comes from alignment with God's purpose. When you walk into that meeting, you're not walking in as someone ordinary. You're walking in as someone carrying heaven's endorsement. It's not about pride, it's about purpose. You were chosen to speak truth in spaces where truth has been forgotten. Recognition from people in power is just the physical reflection of what's already true in the spiritual realm. For years, you operated quietly under divine radar, and now heaven is making that authority visible. The very words you once spoke in faith, perhaps to comfort yourself or to encourage others, are now echoing beyond what you could imagine. Your ideas, your message, your faith, they're reaching places you never thought they would. And that's because God is expanding your influence. He's confirming that you don't need the approval of people when you already have the backing of heaven. God rewards faithfulness, not fame. The world celebrates status, but heaven celebrates obedience. You didn't seek recognition, but you stayed consistent even when it was hard. That's why you're being called now. When God sees you can be trusted in small things, He places you in bigger assignments. This invitation, this acknowledgement, is a spiritual confirmation that your season of being unheard has ended. You've been approved by divine authority, and no human system can cancel what heaven has endorsed. So when you walk into that meeting, hold your head high, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence. Know that you're standing on sacred ground, not because of who you are, but because of who sent you. You are living proof that when you remain faithful, heaven will move mountains to confirm your calling. The world may just be realizing your worth now, but heaven recognized it long ago. Your authority doesn't come from man, it comes from God. And this moment is heaven's way of saying, "Well done, you're ready for more." Don't fear the call. You were prepared for it, chosen one. When your moment finally comes, fear often tries to whisper the loudest. It tells you you're not ready, not qualified, not strong enough. But those are lies meant to stop you from realizing just how prepared you truly are. You see, everything you've faced, every heartbreak, disappointment, and delay wasn't meant to destroy you. It was divine training. Every closed door taught you patience, every rejection built resilience, and every setback shaped your strength. The pain you went through was not wasted. It was shaping your character, your confidence, and your clarity. You've already been through the hardest parts. This call, this meeting, this new opportunity, this is simply the proof that you passed the preparation phase. When God calls you, He never calls the unprepared. He calls those who've been refined through real experience. Think about everything you've overcome. Times when you didn't think you'd make it. Yet here you are, stronger than before. That's not by accident. That's evidence that you've been trained for what's coming. You were molded through challenges so that when your time came, you'd stand firm instead of trembling. Fear tries to make you forget how far you've come, but faith reminds you that you've already fought bigger battles in silence. This moment is not new to God. He's been planning it all along. When you walk into that meeting, don't see yourself as someone small, trying to prove your worth. You've already been approved. You're not there to impress anyone. You're there to express what God has placed inside you. You've been called not to blend in, but to stand out with quiet authority. Your calmness will speak louder than your words. The peace you carry will fill the room, and people will notice something different about you. They'll feel it. That's because your spirit carries divine stability. Where others bring anxiety and pressure, you bring balance and understanding. You've become the kind of person who can walk into chaos and bring order, who can step into darkness and bring light. You were never meant to fit into the world's mold. You were meant to fulfill a divine prophecy. The people you're about to meet, the spaces you're about to enter, they've been waiting for someone like you without even realizing it. You have what they need: clarity, compassion, and courage. So don't shrink when you are called. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and remember, you're not walking in alone. Heaven walks with you. This is your appointed time, and fear has no place in it. The same God who carried you through the fire will now present you before kings. Everything that once made you cry will now make sense. You are ready, not because you have everything figured out, but because you have faith. And faith is all heaven needs to fulfill destiny through you. So walk into that room, not as someone uncertain, but as someone chosen. You're not stepping into a moment of pressure. You're stepping into the purpose you were born for. This meeting will unlock doors you didn't knock on. Sometimes in life, you spend so much time knocking on doors that never open, wondering why the opportunities you chase always seem just out of reach. You try, you push, you plan. And still, things don't work out the way you expect. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, something happens that you never saw coming. That's the power of divine alignment. When your life begins to match heaven's timing, you don't have to chase blessings. They start chasing you. And that's exactly what this meeting represents. This is not a random encounter. It's a divinely arranged moment that will open doors you didn't even know existed. It's God's way of reminding you that purpose brings what effort alone never could. You see, chosen ones don't have to beg for opportunity. They attract it naturally because their energy and spirit are aligned with something higher. This meeting might look like one simple invitation, but in reality, it's a key unlocking multiple levels of your destiny. There are rooms you've never entered, people you've never met, and paths you've never imagined. and this single encounter will begin to open them all. Sometimes, all it takes is one divine conversation to change the entire direction of your life. That's how favor works. It finds you when you least expect it. This moment is proof that God has been working behind the scenes even when you felt forgotten. While you were waiting, He was preparing. While you were doubting, He was designing. And now, everything He's been arranging in silence is about to unfold in front of you. New connections will form, not because of your status, but because of your spirit. The right people will recognize your value instantly, and doors that were once closed will open easily, not by force, but by divine command. This isn't about luck, it's about purpose. You're walking into a season where effort will turn into ease, and waiting will turn into winning. You don't need to chase what's already meant for you. When God assigns something to your life, it will find its way to you no matter how hidden you are. This meeting is just one piece of that puzzle, a doorway to greater things you didn't even ask for. The connections you make here will lead to blessings that multiply quietly but powerfully. You'll start to see how one opportunity connects to another, forming a chain of favor that no one can stop. So walk into this moment with confidence. Don't overthink it, don't question it, and don't underestimate it. This is more than an invitation. It's a shift in your destiny. God is showing you that the blessings you couldn't find before are now finding you. You're stepping into a flow where effort meets grace and purpose leads the way. The doors you never knocked on are about to open, and when they do, you'll realize they were waiting for you all along. Because when you're chosen, what's yours doesn't need chasing. It simply arrives right on time. The world will know you were chosen. Chosen one. There comes a moment when everything shifts, when all the waiting, praying, and believing you've done in silence finally begins to show its fruit in front of the world. That's what this moment is about. After this meeting, things won't look the same. The changes won't happen because of who invited you or who noticed you. They'll happen because of who sent you. You're not walking in the power of position. You're walking in the authority of purpose. This is the moment when your hidden season gives birth to visibility. The world that once overlooked you will now begin to see what heaven always saw in you. This isn't a coincidence. It's divine timing finally revealing itself. For so long, you've carried your purpose quietly, like a light hidden under a basket. You knew there was something different about you, but life didn't seem to reflect it yet. You faced setbacks that made you question your calling, moments of silence that made you wonder if you'd been forgotten. But you weren't forgotten. You were being formed. Every trial, every delay, every lonely night was preparing you for this unveiling. God was working behind the curtain, aligning the right people, the right time, and the right place, so that when your moment came, no one could deny it. Now that time has arrived, and heaven is saying, it's your turn to be seen. This meeting is not just an appointment, it's a divine announcement. It marks the beginning of your visible season, the moment when your calling steps into public view. People who once doubted you will start asking, how did this happen? How did they go from being unnoticed to being elevated? And your answer will be simple yet powerful. Because I was chosen. That phrase alone carries a truth the world won't be able to explain, but will have to acknowledge. They'll see the favor, the peace, the glow that comes from walking in divine alignment. What's different about you now isn't just your circumstances. It's your confidence in knowing who sent you. You're no longer striving for attention. Attention is being directed toward you by heaven itself. Your light has been ignited, and once it shines, it can't be hidden again. This is your breakout moment, the point where everything you've carried inside finally begins to manifest outside. You'll see new opportunities, divine partnerships, and surprising favor coming your way, not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. The same God who placed your name in the heart of that official is now setting your destiny into motion. So don't shrink when people start to notice you. You're not being elevated for applause. You're being elevated for purpose. The world needs what you carry. This is why you had to wait so long. The right season has finally arrived. You won't need to prove anything. Your fruit will speak for itself. The world will know you were chosen, not because you said it, but because everything about your life will begin to reflect it. And when they ask why you'll simply smile and say, because I was never working alone. Heaven sent me. Chosen ones, this message wasn't meant for everyone. It was meant for you. If you feel this word stirring your heart, it's because heaven is confirming what your soul already knew. A government official's private call is not random. It's a divine reminder that you are stepping into influence. Don't shrink. Don't question. Don't delay. Step forward in faith. Before this message ends, do these 3 things to connect with the divine signal. Like this video as a declaration that you're ready. Comment, I'm ready for my divine meeting. Subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning of what heaven is about to unfold for you. Because chosen one, your name has been spoken, and the meeting has already been scheduled in heaven.